A secret Justice Department memo has sparked outrage, justifying a wave of deadly U.S. military strikes on suspected drug boats. These operations, launched in September 2025, have been shrouded in secrecy, with details only now coming to light. The memo from the Office of Legal Counsel claims the U.S. is in an armed conflict with drug cartels, redefining the war on drugs as actual warfare. This legal shift allows the military to use lethal force on the high seas, bypassing normal law enforcement standards. The first strike hit the southern Caribbean, followed by a series of similar attacks off Central and South America. These are not arrests, they're military assaults, escalating the drug war to a new lethal level. Critics argue the strikes are extrajudicial killings, lacking congressional approval or public oversight. The administration refuses to release the memo, fueling demands for transparency and accountability. Human rights advocates warn that the secrecy and lack of due process undermine the rule of law. The standoff continues, with the government defending its actions while keeping its legal rationale hidden. The toll of these secret strikes is grim. At least 22 attacks, 87 dead, all labeled cartel smugglers, without charges or trials. One notorious incident involved a double-tap strike, killing survivors in the water, a move some experts call a potential war crime. The administration avoids capturing survivors, silencing witnesses, and preventing legal challenges. Intelligence behind the strikes is never tested in court. Victims remain unidentified and unproven as criminals. Critics say this strategy is designed to evade accountability and public scrutiny. The White House dismisses concerns, accusing advocacy groups of siding with criminals, but the refusal to address legal and ethical questions only deepens suspicion. The administration's policy of leaving no survivors creates a legal black hole. The campaign's brutality and secrecy have alarmed legal experts worldwide. The legal foundation for these strikes is the claim that the U.S. is at war with drug cartels, a radical break from past policy. Traditionally, drug trafficking was a law enforcement issue, not grounds for military action. The memo's logic targets the drug shipments, not the people, treating deaths as collateral damage, a controversial and dehumanizing stance. It also grants broad immunity to U.S. personnel, raising fears the administration knows its legal footing is shaky. Even conservative legal scholars, like John Yoo, reject the argument that cartels' actions justify war powers. If the armed conflict claim fails, the strikes could be seen as unlawful killings, exposing officials to prosecution. Critics warn the memo is a legal fiction, crafted to justify premeditated violence. The administration's sweeping immunity provisions suggest deep doubts about the legality of its actions. The debate over the memo's logic is now at the heart of a growing legal and political crisis. Civil liberties groups have sued to force release of the secret memo, demanding public scrutiny of the administration's legal reasoning. The lawsuit argues the public has a right to know when and why the government kills in its name. The OLC's head, T. Elliot Gazer, was appointed amid controversy, fueling suspicions of political loyalty over legal expertise. Critics allege the memo was crafted to fit a predetermined policy, sidelining dissenting voices within the Justice Department. The strikes have triggered rare, bipartisan concern in Congress, with many lawmakers questioning the president's authority to wage secret war. The administration's silence and refusal to engage with critics have only intensified calls for oversight. The legal battle over the memo is now a flashpoint in the fight over executive power. At stake, whether the president can unilaterally launch lethal operations without public or congressional consent. Supporters compare the strikes to past counterterrorism campaigns, but critics note a key difference: there's no congressional authorization here. Previous administrations, even when controversial, released legal justifications for military actions. This time, secrecy reigns. Experts warn the memo could set a dangerous precedent, letting presidents declare secret wars against any group, anywhere. If unchecked, this logic could expand lethal executive power far beyond drug cartels. The controversy is about more than one memo. It's about checks and balances, and the future of the rule of law. Can a president redefine war and due process in total secrecy? Legal scholars warn this memo may be the most dangerous yet, normalizing lethal force as a tool of ordinary policy.